everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Ginger Pierce, and I'm a travel agent with Marvelous Mouse Travels. I've been planning vacations for my clients completely free of charge for the past 7 years, and I specialize in theme parks, cruises, and select all-inclusive resorts. Welcome to Cup of Travel. This is my podcast, which I envision as your cozy corner of the internet where we can all just sit down together with our favorite beverage and talk about what is going on in the world of travel. And as of the time that I am recording today's episode, Disney Cruise Line has just released a brand new promotion. They are offering 50% off your third and fourth guests on select sailings. So because I know there's probably going to be a lot of questions out there about Disney Cruise Line, I thought it was a great time to do an episode answering the top 5 questions that I get as a travel agent about Disney Cruise Line. So let's jump right in. Far and away, the number one question that I get asked about Disney cruises is what is included in your cruise fare? Because this isn't necessarily something that is standard across all cruise lines. So for Disney, you of course have your stateroom included in your fare. You got to have a place to sleep, right? But you also have included all of your dining in the main dining rooms. And we're not talking about just boring cruise ship main dining rooms. We are talking about highly themed experiences, many of which have character interactions or shows. So this isn't what you might think of when you think of cruise ship main dining room dining, but all of that is included. Also included is fast casual dining. So we're talking about fast food style options on the pool deck or in the buffet. We're also talking about all the food on Disney's private island destinations. That's all included in your cruise fare. Also included is 24-hour room service. Many other cruise lines charge you extra for room service, but Disney Cruise Line includes it for you. Also included is unlimited sodas, coffee, and tea. And again, this is something else that many other cruise lines charge you extra for. So I love that Disney includes that for all of us soda drinkers out there. But aside from the food and beverages, included in your cruise fare are first-run movies in the theaters. So we're talking movies that are still in movie theaters back home. You can watch for free on your Disney cruise ship. And that might be Marvel movies, Star Wars movies, Disney movies. But definitely that is a huge value add. You also are going to get to watch Broadway quality shows for free with your cruise fare. You're also going to have character meet and greet opportunities, and there are tons of these on board a Disney cruise ship. The lines typically are not that bad either. So something you might have to pay extra for or stand in a really long line to experience in the Disney theme parks, you can easily access on board a Disney cruise ship. Also included are kids clubs for kids ages 3 to 17. And of course, they're divided up by age group, and the activities in each club are tailored around that specific age group's interests. And lastly, included are onboard activities, super fun onboard activities, things like trivia nights or deck parties. Certain itineraries even have fireworks at sea. So you are never going to run out of things to do on a Disney cruise ship that are included in your cruise fare. All right, the second most common question that I get asked about Disney Cruise Line is which ship is best? And here's the thing. I personally don't recommend that you book a cruise based on the ship. I recommend that you book a cruise based on the itinerary. So what departure port is going to be most convenient to you? Which other ports are you most interested in? So start with your itinerary. But if we're talking about the ships themselves, you need to understand that Disney Cruise Line has essentially 3 tiers of ship or 3 classes of ship. The oldest and smallest are the Disney Magic and the Disney Wonder. Those are Disney's original cruise ships. Many people love the Magic and the Wonder because it is a little bit more intimate setting. It's easier to navigate the ships. And also these ships tend to have really great itineraries. They might go to Alaska or other unique places. So there's so much nostalgia and a lot to love about those ships, even though they are smaller and they are the older ones in the fleet. Kind of the Goldilocks level, I would say, are the Disney Dream and Fantasy, because these are larger ships, but they're not as large as the next class, which we'll talk about in just a second. But the Dream and Fantasy are many people's favorite ships because they do have so much to do. There are tons of onboard offerings. The restaurants are really great. They have typically really good itineraries. So those are a great ship class to look into. And then the newest and largest in the fleet are going to be the Disney Wish, the Disney Treasure, and soon to be the Disney Destiny. Now, personally, for me, this is my favorite class of Disney cruise ship. I like the fact that they're larger. I think that you don't feel the crowds quite as much because of that. I also really love the fact that everything is brand new and really modern. And I have to say that for me personally, if I was going to tell you what is my overall favorite ship in the fleet, it is the Disney Wish. It's just like a floating palace, and I absolutely love it. But all that said, really the best ship for you is going to correspond with that itinerary. So again, I wouldn't necessarily pick a Disney cruise based on the ship. I would pick it based on the itinerary. All right, next question is, what is the best age for kids to take a Disney cruise? And I get this question a lot for the theme parks. Like, what is the kind of magic age? And I really don't think there is a magic age for kids to have their first Disney experience, whether that's in the parks or on a cruise ship. I don't really fall into the camp of you should wait until they're old enough to remember it, because even if the kids don't remember it, the parents do, right? And so the first time we ever took our daughter to the theme park, she was still in diapers. I mean, she was a little one. But seeing her get so excited to see Mickey Mouse or so excited to meet Rapunzel, like, I will remember that for the rest of my life, even though she doesn't remember it. And so I definitely think that Disney cruises can be awesome for little kids. If you want to get maybe the most bang for your buck, I would say maybe wait until they're at least 3, because then they can take advantage of the free kids clubs. But even if they're still younger than 3, I think there's definitely things for them to do and love and experience on board a Disney cruise ship. And as for your older kids, I don't think that you ever really age out of a Disney cruise. Disney has done such a good job of making sure that their kids clubs for tweens and teens are really geared to those age groups and have a lot of programming in place to keep those kids interested and entertained. My oldest is 13 and he is begging to go back on another Disney cruise soon. So I definitely don't think that you can be too old for a Disney cruise. I mean, I'm 40 and I love it. All right, question number 4 is, how does rotational dining work? Now, rotational dining is unique to Disney Cruise Line, and essentially there are on each ship 3 main dining rooms. They will be different for a lot of the ships, but you will rotate every night of your cruise to a different one of those 3 main dining rooms. So if you're on a 3-night itinerary, you'll eat at each of them once. If you're on longer itineraries, there will be some repetition. But what I love about this particular system is that your dining team rotates with you. So you're going to have the same servers every single night. They're going to know your preferences. They're going to know your family and your personalities. They're really going to know you and personalize their service to you over the course of your cruise. After our first night in the main dining room, we would come in the next night and our drink orders were already there. Like, they know us. I found that our kids looked forward to meeting our dining team every night. One of our servers would actually do magic tricks for our kids, and they absolutely loved that. So there is so much to love about this rotational system. I really like it because you get to experience every venue, but you get a consistent level of service. And again, that is included with your cruise fare, so it does not cost you any extra. All right. And the last question that I'll answer in today's episode is, what should I pack for a Disney cruise? All right. Now, obviously, a lot of this is going to be specific to your itinerary, but I will try to give you some general things that I have found to be really helpful on board a Disney cruise ship. Obviously, you need to pack your cruise documents and your passports, right? Now, not all Disney itineraries will require a passport. Some of them you can use an alternate proof of citizenship, but I personally always recommend cruising with a passport because you wouldn't be able to fly in the event of an emergency without one. Personally, I wouldn't get on a cruise without a passport, so I do think it's really important. But whatever your proof of citizenship is, you need to make sure that you have that as well as your cruise documents in your carry-on bag, because you will need those multiple times as you're boarding the ship. Also, of course, pack swimsuits. Even if you are going to an Alaskan itinerary, you're still going to have a pool on board the ship, right? And you still might want to do a little bit of swimming. So bring those swimsuits for sure. Next up, this is just a little organizational hack. Bring magnetic hooks with you to hang things on your stateroom walls because they are magnetic. So those hooks will just stick right there. You can hang lanyards on them. You can hang up important pieces of paper, other things like jackets that you might want to store. Those have been super helpful for getting things up off the floor or up off surfaces and using those walls as extra storage space. Another thing that I always carry with me on cruises, and this is not at all glamorous, but it's really helpful, is poopery. If you're not familiar with poopery, it is literally something that you spray into the potty before you go number 2, and it contains the smell. Why is that important? Because there's not vent fans in the stateroom, bathrooms, and staterooms on cruise ships are a little small, right? Now, Disney Cruise Line has larger than average staterooms, but it's still smaller than your average hotel room, so smells get through there pretty quickly. So for us, there's 4 of us sharing a stateroom. That was an absolute non-negotiable, essential thing to bring on board. Another thing that I always travel with are my packing cubes. Packing cubes just help you stay organized, not only in your luggage, but once you arrive on board, you can easily keep everyone's clothes separated and organized, and you can make the most of your stateroom storage. Another thing that I always travel with, no matter where I'm going, is a collapsible laundry hamper. Nothing makes a stateroom or a hotel room feel chaotic faster than dirty laundry on the floor. So we just bring something that collapses down flat as a pancake, and then we pop it up when we get there. And when people wear something out, they toss it in the hamper. And, many times I might go down to the laundry room during a cruise and wash those things. But even if I don't, it keeps them contained until we take them home and wash them there. Another thing that a lot of people bring for a Disney cruise are door magnets. Decorating your door on a Disney cruise ship is really common. You can find ready-made ornaments on Amazon, or you can even purchase personalized ornaments on Etsy or other places like that. So definitely look into that. Nothing that is going to hurt the door or the walls, obviously, is allowed. But the great thing about magnets is you just stick them up there and then just easily pull them right off, and it's awesome. All right, another thing that you should definitely pack are lanyards. Your key to the world card is your key to the world when you're on board a Disney cruise ship. So it is going to be how you get into your room. It is going to be how you pay for things. It is going to essentially be everything to you when you are traveling. So keeping that nice and secured is super important, and a lanyard is the easiest way to do that. And of course, you need to make sure that you come prepared with any themed attire that you're going to need for your specific itinerary. So you might have a formal night, you might have pirate night, or you might be on a special sailing like Marvel Day at Sea or Pixar Day at Sea, or it might be a very maritime cruise or a Halloween on the high seas. So make sure that you come with that themed apparel when needed. All right, I hope that you enjoyed hearing the answers to the top 5 most common questions that I get asked about Disney Cruise Line as a travel agent. If you would like some additional Disney Cruise resources, I have tons on my YouTube channel and my blog. On my blog, you'll find a post about what's included in your Disney cruise. You'll find tips for first-time cruisers. You'll also find a post all about navigating tipping or gratuities on board. On my YouTube channel, I have videos about the Royal Gathering. I have a review of Arendelle on board the Disney Wish. I show you my daughter walking through the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique experience on board a Disney cruise ship. I have a stateroom tour from the Disney Wish, and I also have a Disney Cruise packing list, and I've included shopping links in the description of that video where I went through everything we packed in our suitcase for our Disney cruise. So definitely check out those additional resources if you're interested. And if you're interested in free personalized planning assistance, reach out to me through the contact form on my blog, which is gingermmt.com, and I would love to help you plan your Disney cruise. It's not going to cost you any more to book that cruise through me than it would to book it directly on Disney Cruise Line's website. But when you book it with me, you get assistance with planning every step along the way. You get someone to be in your corner if anything goes wrong, just to kind of help you make sure that you make the most of your cruise experience. And right now, like I mentioned earlier, there is a great promotion available with Disney Cruise Line, but it's not going to stick around forever. It has to be booked by October 12th, 2025. So if you're interested in learning more more about how you can get 50% off your third and fourth guests, again, reach out to me at gingermmp.com. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you'll join me again next time so we can have our cup of travel together.